I've been sitting here for about half an hour, 45 minutes, trying to think of the best way to introduce myself to open up the podcast. This is the very first one. Um, and the bad thing about it is that it's the first one I've done in about seven, no, yeah, in about 7, 8 years. And and after so much time away, and so many things have happened in the last 8 years. 8 years ago, the PlayStation 3, the Xbox 360, and the Wii were new. They were the pinnacles of the industry. It was 2008, 2008, 2009. The 3D age had not hit. Um, Everybody still had cable. Um, Online play was still, I wouldn't say in a bad position, but nowhere near what it is today. People still did LAN parties. People still used to rent. People still didn't really download a lot. It wasn't a big, hey, download this title, put it on your hard drive. Things are vastly different than they were 8 years ago. And like I said, it's been 7 or 8 years since I've done a podcast, and I've been racking my brain for the last 45 minutes how to start this, and I can't think of anything. So it just comes down to what the podcast is, who I am, what I'm here for, and basically to give you what I plan on giving you every Tuesday to start your day off, to start your not to start your week, but to get the ball rolling for your new releases and all that other stuff. But that's what we're here for. That's what I plan on being here for, and that's what I plan on giving you here on this podcast. So, without rambling on like I tend to do quite often, my name is Jeremy Scott. I'm 28 years old. I've played games for a quarter of a century. And this is the last point. I'd like to thank anybody and everybody that has tuned into this podcast. Obviously, like I said, this is the first. I may get, 50 or 100 people to listen to it. I may get nobody to listen to it. I may be recording this with absolutely nothing to gain, honestly. But that's just how that's how the entertainment business works. You have to start somewhere. You don't start with 10 million fans. You don't start with 1 million subscribers. You don't start with 30,000 views and 15,000 likes. You have to start somewhere. You're bound to piss people off. You're bound to have people that don't agree with you. You're bound to have a lot of trolls. A lot of them. But you know what? If enough people agree with my opinion and enough people seem to like what I produce, then you know what? Good for me and good for you. Because obviously, if you like my stuff, you get more content. Simple logic, but sometimes I can confuse certain people. I would use certain words, but I'm trying to keep this as PG as possible. So that way, I don't drop the F bomb or the B bomb or the C or anything between A and Z. We're gonna try to keep it relatively clean. Don't expect a whole lot of crazy, insane things to happen. So, and like I said, we're gonna start small. We're not gonna go high end. We're not gonna go all out. We're not gonna sit here and go crazy. You gotta start somewhere. You gotta start small, and you gotta work your way up. That's the plan, and that's what we're gonna do. But I'm here to tell you right now, every Tuesday, you will get the last point with all the news, rumors, releases, and anything else that pops up in the gaming world. Stuff that you need to know, things that you want to know about. If you have something to bring, if you have something that you want me to discuss or give my opinion on, feel free to DM me. You can follow me on Twitter. Yes, Twitter. I haven't had a Twitter in so long, and yet here I am, and I've created a Twitter specifically, and I mean specifically, just for this. But, you know, you gotta be reached, right? Of course. You can follow me on Twitter at Jeremy Scott LP. That's JeremyScottLP. I can be reached. That's essentially the best place to get a hold of me, and that's the best place to, send me your information and all that other stuff. So just keep that in mind. With that being said, like I said, we're going to cover anything and everything that comes out in the gaming world, any type of news, any type of rumors, and we're going to try and keep it as clear and concise. And if we need to go over something specific, we'll go over it. If something requires some attention or some more in-depth analysis, we could do that too. That's what we're here for at the last point, to give you the last the last point of everything. I know it sounds cheesy, but what are you gonna do? Um, like I said, I'd like to thank anybody who's listening to this podcast right now. Your your likes, subscriptions, and comments are highly appreciated. If you do them, of course, I would love them. I'm pandering. That's what I have to do. I have to pander for likes and subscriptions and all that stuff. So, I mean, if I don't pander, then you have no reason to do it. If you enjoy the podcast, like, share, and subscribe, as everybody likes to say. But, that's how you show your approval. That's how you show to everybody that, you like their content. And, of course, for creators, that gives them fuel to keep going. And this is something I've been wanting to do for a long time. I will say that. And I finally just sat there and decided, hey, it's time to do it. It's now or never. I'm not getting any younger. It's not going to get any easier. So, you know what? I just said, let's do it. So, without further ado, without me rambling for another fucking 15 to 20 minutes, we're going to go ahead and we're going to get into it. And just so you know, this isn't scripted. We keep this very, organic, and we let it flow on its own. But I do have, a concise layout of what I want to go over. So don't worry, there is some structure. It's not going to be rambling all day, but, hopefully I can entertain a little bit. Just a little bit. So here we go. First topic we're going to bring up, the Tokyo Game Show. The E3 of Japan is coming up this weekend, the 15th to the 18th. Big event, always a big event. Not as big as E3. A lot of the companies like to put all their eggs into that E3 basket because it's far enough away for November, which is October, November, which is always the big, selling point for, major publishers and developers. That's when most of your consoles tend to come out. Not always. We'll get to that later. But it's because it's in June. It's in the middle of the year. It's close enough to that point in time to where they can give you a little bit without giving you too much, and it's convenient. The Tokyo Game Show is very close usually to a lot of things, so it doesn't tend to get as much, but there are still important things that happen at the Tokyo Game Show. This year proves to be a little more, a little heavier on what they're going to be showcasing. Not a whole lot. Sony's not going to have a very big presence, as they say. Nintendo doesn't usually have a very big presence. Neither does Microsoft. Usually, it's bigger for some of the Japanese market things. PlayStation does have a conference, but they're not going apeshit crazy because it's just not what they do. Even though the land of the rising sun is the home of PlayStation anyway, but they do have a presence, not as big as Nintendo or Microsoft, especially Microsoft, since that's an American-based company. But nonetheless, we do have quite a few things that hopefully we should be hearing about at the Tokyo Game Show. As many of you may or may not know, we don't know. We'll find out. We have the PlayStation VR that is going to be releasing on the 18th of October. This is going to this is the first real VR headset that's coming out that's being almost 100% built specifically for a console, obviously because it's from PlayStation. Obviously, you have the HTC VR headset or the Oculus Rift out coming and all that jazz. But this is a PlayStation VR headset which is built to coincide with the PlayStation. Um, with it being so close to the release, I would imagine that we're going to have some kind of information on it. We're going to get a little more statistics and all that other stuff. I mean, we have prices and all that other stuff, but I feel like this is really their best opportunity to showcase all of the VR games that are going to be coming out for release because we haven't had a whole lot as far as a lineup. I mean, we have a few good ones coming, but not a whole lot. So we're hoping that there's a little bit more information on the PlayStation VR. We also have the PlayStation Pro and then the Slim PS4, which are both supposed to be coming out. Obviously, these got announced earlier in the week, so or last week, but either way, hopefully we can get some more information on those as far as exact price points, some more specs. We have some of that information, but that's the issue with Tokyo Game Show. You can get certain aspects that you're not getting, but it does help to have that presence. Sony is supposed to have a pretty lengthy presence here, so we're hoping to get some more concrete information. But the Tokyo or the TGS is more known for software. They're not real big in hardware and all that other stuff. They've always been well known for releasing demos or even gameplay footage or even whatever for highly anticipated games. Hope to see Horizon Zero Dawn. Kingdom Hearts 3 has been rumored to be getting something. I mean, we have the 15th expansion the 15th or 16th remaster of either Kingdom Hearts 1 or 2 or a version of 2 or 1 every year for like the last 15 years, it seems like, and yet we can't get 3. 3 is in development. Finally, we know this for a fact. Hopefully, we can get a little more information on it. I doubt we'll get a concrete release date. Doubt we'll see that probably until, I would say, E3 next year. But hopefully we can get a little more concrete info because there was nothing at E3. So hopefully we can get something from Kingdom Hearts 3. Obviously, you got Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 coming out the end of next month, so we should see a lot more from that. And of course, you got Final Fantasy 15. Hopefully showcasing some of the other aspects besides the big, huge battles that you can take part in and all that other stuff. Hopefully we can get some more content on that. And then Persona 5 actually comes out the first day of the show. Persona has, I don't want to say has no following in the US because that's not giving it any credit. Persona is actually a very good series, but it's got a release for the 15th of this month. So hopefully we can get a nice hard look at it. I'm not expecting a whole lot from the TGS, but hopefully we can get some more information on it. Obviously, with it being so close, there's not a whole lot of information because everything's being cut fairly tight knit right now, especially with the event being in a few days. So keep it here to the channel, and once we're getting more information, especially on over the course of the weekend, we'll bring you any major news we get from TGS. Like I said, right now there's not a lot. It's just more like speculation. Rumors of what's supposed to be there, what's supposed to come up. Bandai Namco always has a big presence there, and Square Enix usually has a big showing there. So we're hoping we can get quite a lot of information on a lot of these games that we've been waiting on for very, very long. So anyway, also we're going to cover some releases that you should be looking for today. So when you go to your local game store or your Walmart or your Target or wherever you buy your video games. These are the new releases that are coming out today. Today. Some of them you can download early, some you can't. But we're going to go over the biggest releases that are coming out today. Obviously, the biggest game to be coming out, the one that's got the most fanfare, the one that's probably had the biggest backing, is ReCore. Now, obviously, ReCore is a Xbox PC exclusive, but right now it comes out today. It's looked very good in a lot of the tech demos and the gameplay footage that we got during E3. It does look, the graphics are stunning. They're not stunning is probably too elaborate of a word. It's too powerful, but it does look very good. The gameplay mechanics are definitely something to behold. Right now, I'm going to give you some, along with these, there are some early reviews for the game. Kind of mixed. I'm not going to go and delve into what people have said, because that's not what we're here to do. If I give you an opinion, a very, 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 I don't want to say biased, but when I'm giving you an opinion, it's going to be more prone to something that I've personally played myself. I'm not going to give you an opinion based on what somebody else told me. I'm not going to give you an opinion based on what everybody else says, because I don't like to just take experts' words for it, because experts are not experts. They're just putting that name, I'm an expert, so I know what a game is. No. No one is an expert. The only person that's an expert at a game is you, because you know what you want, you know what you like, you know what you don't like. If there's a game that I've played, or a game that I've got, or that I'm getting, I'll give you my opinion. I'll tell you what sticks out to me, what I like, what I don't like. You know, it's not my job to sit here and tell you what's good and what's bad. Because what I might find to be stupid, you might find to be awesome, and vice versa. I'm here to give you the information you need and the things you want to know so you can make an educated decision. But ReCore came out. It's got mixed reviews. Haven't obviously none of these I've played, because I'm not the type of person to go and buy every game that comes out every week that costs money, and I don't have that kind of funds. It'd be nice, but I don't. But it's rated T for teen. Comes out on the Xbox and the PC. Like I said, average to okay reviews. It's a third person action adventure, so it's got a lot to it. I highly suggest, if you want to look into it, go check out some of the gameplay footage. Check out some of the content that's being posted on YouTube. You can find it. It's not that hard, and make that decision yourself. But it comes out today, and it's on the cheaper side. It's only $39.99. It's not a full blown $60 game, which that should be a very big selling point in and of itself. And it's very hard to get to get games like that, especially in this day and age where everything has to cost $60. But it is single player. There's no multiplayer as far as I'm aware of. But hopefully we can get hopefully it'll we need more single player games. We need more story driven games. Those are the type of games that I think need to get made more often. And ReCore does provide that. Does provide you with a more engaging experience. So that way it's not always about who I can kill and how many kills I can get online. So that comes out today. Some other games, some more lower key games. We got Make You, Labyrinth of Death, which comes out for the Vita. Got Pac-Man Championship Edition 2. That actually comes out on the PC, Xbox, and the PlayStation 4. Both of those are very, very, person specific. Obviously, Miku Labyrinth of Death is an anime action adventure for the Vita. You know, targeting a specific audience. Psycho Pass Mandatory Happiness, which also comes out. It's also a RPG, an JRPG, I guess is what I should say. That's very geared to a very specific PS4 Vita game. And then, but some of the other bigger games, we got the Bioshock Collection, or Bioshock The Collection, comes out today also. Which, if you've played Bioshock, it's a great, excuse me, it's actually a very very deep and engaging story. Um, Obviously, this collection is devised of Bioshock, Bioshock 2, Bioshock Infinite, which is the unofficial third game in the series. Um, I've played bits and pieces 1 and 2. I actually played all of Infinite. Infinite is a fantastic game. Story is very involved. There's a lot of lore to it, but it is a great game. And a chance to get all 3 of them remastered, especially at 60 frames per second, in 1080p. I mean, how can you turn that down? So, and I mean, it's Bioshock. Bioshock has a pretty good following. I mean, I was hoping more for another Bioshock game, but this is something. It's better than nothing. First-person shooter, single player, which I love having more of those. It allows you to have more organic storytelling. Allows you to, really engage yourself in the game and get to know the characters and really, delve into it as compared to, always going and getting certain games and going straight for the multiplayer. But that also comes out today. We have the return. Well, before we get into those, and then we also have the season pass for the Telltale Batman series. Yes, the first one came out in August. Episode 2 actually comes out on the 20th of this month. So the disc comes out today. If you want to buy that, it gets you all. It basically, you're buying the season pass and it comes out on the disc and blah 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 and all that fun stuff. Not really that big of a deal. If you bought it online, there you go. Disc is just there for people that don't want to. I don't know who wouldn't have internet nowadays, but that's what it's there for. And then, of course, 'tis the season, and we have 3, count them 3, depending on who you ask, sports titles that came out today. You've got the big one from EA. You got NHL 17, which has been getting not nearly as good reviews as previous entities, but still NHL, still EA. They're still the number one go-to for sports. 2K does have them be, especially in basketball. Hockey, it's about even. 2K does a little better, but EA still has a stranglehold on the sports industry. So, Pro Evolution Soccer 2017 also comes out today for all you soccer heads out there. Obviously, it's not FIFA, but Pro Evolution does do some things a little better than FIFA. Of course, there's a lot of different things in there. Different teams. I do feel like Evolution Soccer has better graphics than FIFA, but FIFA is built a lot better. So I mean, it just depends on your preference and all that other fun stuff. And like I said, depending on who you ask, you also have NASCAR Heat Evolution out today. This is from Monster Games, who previously had made the original Heat games back in the early '90s, which were probably some of the better NASCAR games. So they're back in the fold, and they're making themselves renowned in the video game world with a new NASCAR game. Obviously, the sports games, it's going to be based on your preference of what sports you like. You're probably still playing Madden for all we know. So, but if you want to delve into the others, they're there for you today. And that's really about it for releases that came out today. It's going to be kind of slow. I'm not saying nothing's going to come out, but it's going to be slow because we're getting to that time of the year, the busy year. October is going to start the holiday season for video games. You got Titanfall 2 coming out in October. You've got WWE 2K17 coming out in October. You have quite a few other games coming out in October. And then, of course, November, when everything comes out, like your Call of Duties, your Battlefield 1s, and all that jazz. So we got a lot to come. But you got to understand, it's going to be slow for most of this month. But don't worry, we're getting there, and I'll keep you up to date on all those release dates. Speaking of release dates, we move on to our next topic. The Last Guardian. This game has been in development for a decade. Delayed again. This came from, the top. Yoshida, President Yoshida of Sony's Worldwide Studios, came out December 6th. It's been pushed back from October 25th to December 6th. Not a massive delay, but a delay nonetheless. Obviously, if you guys don't know what The Last Guardian is, I wouldn't be surprised if you didn't, but you should know what The Last Guardian is. Fumito Ueda, he also did Ico and Shadow of the Colossus, which were Shadows of the Colossus was probably the bigger of the two. Massive game for the PS2. It was actually one of the classics. But this has been in development since then, and it's been getting delayed over and over and over and over and over again. We got a tech demo at E3. A lot of people had an issue with the graphics, saying they weren't as sharp and as crisp as they should be. It's an art style decision. Nonetheless, there's a lot of collision issues, a lot of shaky camera work, and it really still needed a whole lot of polish, but it was starting to take shape. Never thought we would see it, but it started taking shape, and we saw it at E3, and it gave us hope that it was going to happen. But it unfortunately got delayed again. Only got delayed about 5 weeks, so we should still see it before Christmas. Hopefully it won't be too buggy. That's the main reason for the delay. They said they had a lot of bugs that they need to work out. They figured they could have them done by October 25th. Obviously, they didn't feel that was going to be able to get done. Pushed back a few more weeks. Hopefully when we get the game, it'll be good to go. Unfortunately, I feel like this is going to end up like Duke Nukem Forever, where it just keeps getting pushed back over and over and over into a point to where no one cares anymore. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't care about The Last Guardian anymore. It doesn't have as big of a following as it could have had. A lot of people have lost interest due to it being delayed constantly, but there's still an interest for it. There's still a want for it. Is it as great as it was 3 years ago, 4 years ago? No, it just isn't. If we were given this game 3 years ago, then it could have turned out to be one of the best games ever. Highly doubt it, but you get my point. The delays have really killed its momentum. Plus, the promotion has not been there. It really hasn't. They did a lot of promotion during E3. The delays are just killing it. I'm hoping it gets released in a timely fashion at this point, and I'm hoping that enough people care about it for it to at least get its legs. But hopefully, since it's coming in December after all the big major games come out, hopefully it can stand on its own and get some notoriety, but we won't know until then. So again, Last Guardian has been delayed from October 25th to December 6th. Not much else you can say. Next up, for all you first-person shooter fans out there, we have another card game based off of a shooter coming out, Titanfall 2, which releases next month. there is now a card game to go along with it. In fact, it's actually being developed by Nexon, which actually has created the Maple Story free to play and the Eve Online free to play games. They actually also did Counter Strike Online for mostly for Europe and Asia, but they do have they do have experience in the free to play, um, in the free to play arena. It's being developed by Particle City. If you haven't heard of them, trust me, you haven't heard of them. It's actually a new company founded by Vince Zampella, which you all by now should probably know from the greatness of Modern Warfare 2. In my opinion, the last good, really honestly, 100% good Call of Duty game. Um, since he's gone to uh, obviously open Respawn and do Titanfall, he's gotten together with a guy named Larry Pacey. He's worked on making apps um, for specifically for casinos. He doesn't work specifically. He's more of an he's basically an advisor, but he does have a little bit of experience in especially mobile gaming. This is a mobile game before anybody asks, but it's a trading card game. It's essentially IMC versus Militia, which is going back to Titanfall 1, and I've been told it's being compared to Hearthstone. I can't I can't make a determination on that because I've never played it. I have played certain cards. I've played Gwent, for instance. Uh, Hands of Faith, um, Magic, obviously. So there's a little experience as far as playing trading card games. How it compares to that, I'm not 100% sure. It does have the same basic feel as a Magic, but like I said, Hearthstone is what it's being compared to. Let me know exactly how you feel about Hearthstone, but either way, this is going to be coming out. There isn't an exact release date for it yet. I would imagine it should come out relatively close to Titanfall 2, whether more than likely after, especially since there isn't a whole lot of info for it. Um, they are taking pre-registers, and you actually get a Prometheus Titan card, um, which doesn't explain a whole lot, but there's Titan cards, there's burn cards, just like in the first game. You use troops, and then obviously utility cards like the electrical bomb and stuff like that. So I mean, it's playing Titanfall cards, essentially what it is. But you get the point. And it sounds promising. It really does. It's not that I'm sitting here saying, "Hey, it's Titanfall. You need to play it." It's still a card game. You've still got to understand it's still a card game. But hopefully, it'll give something for you to do when you're not playing Titanfall 2. Sort of similar to Base Command for Battlefront, which I play quite often, to be honest with you. It gives you a way of involving yourself in the game when you are not in front of your TV. And hopefully, liking the base command for Battlefront, hopefully it'll allow you to earn, I don't know, burn cards or even upgrades in the game, which would be fantastic. I love games that have cell phone companions that help you earn things in game. I would love to see more of that. I really would. I mean, I'm not saying that it's got to be like, drastic. Like if you play this on your phone, you're gonna get these power ups that nobody else can use. I mean, that'd be nice, but I mean, obviously those kinds of things aren't gonna happen. But it'd be nice, to earn some extra credit while you're at work, play this, or if you burn cards, come home like, I got a few extra of these. Or like I said, maybe, hey, there's this specific Titan that you can call upon in game, and you can only earn that Titan while playing the companion. That gives somebody a reason, especially if it's a high-powered Titan. It's just a suggestion. Who knows? And finally, the last point, just so this doesn't drag on forever, the Nintendo NX. The Nintendo NX. We're in the age where consoles are supposed to last 10 years. We're in the age where the consoles are not lasting 10 years. We're in the age where a console lasts 3 years and then we have to release a slimmed down version of a console and give you a reason to rebuy the same console again and again and again. I'm not a fan of that. I never have been, never will be. I'm an avid believer in buying the system once, lasting 6 years, give us a new console. If you want to do that route, fine, I don't care. 5 to 6 years should be roughly about how long a console should last. If it's lasting less than 3, you're not doing your job. Given it's taken 3 years to get the um, Xbox S, Xbox One S, and the PlayStation Pro, followed up by Scorpio, which is supposed to come out next year. And then obviously the PlayStation 4K, which is also coming out. So I mean, it's kind of like, want to buy this new console? Not really. Still, because mine still plays all of these games. You got people out there that want high-end, super amazing graphics, and it's got to look pretty and shine and all this other stuff. Graphics are fine. Don't care. If the game sucks, I don't care how pretty it looks. The game still sucks. Battlefield. Star Wars Battlefield. Or Battlefront. Is not the greatest game in the world. Really isn't. Structurally, it is not that great. It's gotten better since the DLCs have come out, but when it was initially released, it was not a great game. It was very unbalanced. A lot of things were wrong with it. DLC has helped make that better. DLC shouldn't cost so damn much. But that's the way of things nowadays. With that being said, it is a very beautiful game. It really is. Graphically, it is fantastic. One of the best looking games to come out last year. Doesn't equate to it being a crappy game. Really doesn't. Nostalgia can kick in for certain games. Replayability can play for certain games, but graphics are not everything. Is the gist of this. With that being said, Nintendo NX is supposed to be coming out in March. We're now in September, so we only have 7 months. It's supposed to get a big reveal in October, per Nintendo and all of them. There were rumors going around that they were actually going to have a lot of info about the NX at the TGS this weekend. Don't think it's going to happen. I do think that there's going to be snippets that come out. There's been little rumors that have come out here and there. One of the newer rumors is the $10 a month subscription, which unlocks every game for this NX. Basically, you pay. It's like getting a new cell phone from Sprint or Verizon or T-Mobile. You don't pay for the phone. The phone is free. But you sign a contract. You have it for 2 years. And then you pay this. You're paying for your service, and then you're paying $20 a month for the phone. So either way, you're still paying for the phone. That's essentially where this $10 a month subscription fees coming from. You get the system for free. You pay for it over the course of a certain amount of time. Or you can pay for it up front, which I guarantee most people are going to do. And of course, it's gone down as far as what is it actually supposed to be? It's supposed to be a handheld hybrid. It's supposed to basically be like a Wii U pad that I can take wherever I want and not have to be tied down to a console and not be able to go in the next room and play it. Is it going to use cartridges? There's a lot of things going around about what the NX is. A lot of people think it's a handheld or a glorified tablet handheld, whatever the hell you want to call it. We just don't know. Nintendo's being very, 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 very tight-lipped about this. Like I said, there's an October reveal for it. Hopefully we hear something, just a little some information at the TGS. I mean, there's everything under the sun has come out about this, as far as customizable controllers, to it being 4K, to all kinds of crazy stuff. And that's the problem. patiently waiting for all these things to come out and just, having no information. That's why this is such a hard thing to do. You want to report and give everybody all the information they can, and a lot of times there isn't anything. But we can only give you what we know. We can only give you what we can find, and we don't want to sit here and say this is what it is. This is what we're gonna get, and all this other stuff. You have to pick and choose what you tell people. You have to pick and choose what you feel is going to be accurate or at least plausible. And this is what it gives us. So that's really all I have. There's, like I said, there's not a lot going on. You've got a big convention coming up this weekend, so news is relatively slow. Of course, there's plenty of other things that go on in the gaming world. Obviously, EA is boasting it being National Video Game Day, Video Games Day, which I suppose is today or yesterday, however you want to look at it. But I actually didn't know there was a Video Games Day, but because in my world, it's Video Games Day every year. um, so hopefully we'll be getting some more things coming our way. Trying to see if there's anything else here. This weekend, let's see, nothing else for this weekend. Obviously, a lot of these betas that have been going up ended. Yep. See, PlayStation 4's System 4.0 update is coming tomorrow. Let's take a look at this. If you have a PS4, obviously, it's a big update. Let's see, we got refreshed user interface. The interface is it's not bad, but it allows you to change backgrounds, update system items, revise pop-up notifications, drop-down menus to make things clearer. Quick menu, similar to what the Xbox has, allows you to. It basically is going to offer you options that are more relevant to what you're doing. And you can also and it's also going to allow you to pull up things that are used more often, folders and libraries, which actually is something I've been wanting for a while. I should do put things into specific folders. As far as games and apps and stuff like that, you can separate them based on what you want instead of having to go through the entire line to find something specific. And that's about it. It's just really just kind of trying to make it a little more user friendly. Updated the profile and the content info screen. Working on communities and data transfer to your new PS4 because they assume we're going to get a PS4 Pro, I guess. But every update has usually has a big major thing. Obviously, the big thing is just it's all cosmetic. So it's nothing like, oh, we got to write home about this. It's not. So it is what it is. Other than that, it's like I said, it's slow. There's not a lot going on, but like I said, I was committed to doing this today, and I was committed to giving you guys a first podcast probably not the most interesting podcast that you can do, but trust me, they'll get better. There'll be more entertaining things to be had on this channel. There is a lot more entertaining things that can go on. But you know what? We gotta start somewhere, and it can't all be perfect. Sorry, it's just not how it works. Hopefully we can get video soon. Uh, so we're gonna go with the old school podcast and do audio. But audio is an easy way to get started. Audio is also a very simple thing to deal with. It allows you to really focus on what's being said instead of wanting to constantly look at me, make stupid faces and mannerisms and stuff like that. Trust me, that's coming, and you can make all the jokes you want. You can make fun of how my voice sounds nasally because I talk through my nose. Thank you so much. Anyhow, like I said, I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in for the first episode of The Last Point. Stay tuned to the channel. As far as content, we're not gonna go overboard. We're not gonna go crazy, not yet. We have to work towards that, and that's where you guys come in. You guys supporting the podcast and live streams helps create new content. Trust me, I have a list of all the content in mind. I have everything set up. But, all takes time, all takes practice. I'll get better at this, I promise. This will be ancient. Maybe somewhere down the line, a couple of years from now, when we're around podcast 100, we'll look back at this shitty podcast and have a fantastic laugh. With my 10 subscribers, I'll probably have then. So who knows? 10,000, 10 million. I doubt we're getting that high, but you get my point. Anyway, so like, share, and subscribe if you like the podcast. Like I said, it is very, very, very mundane, very by the books, very boring. I'm so sorry. Sorry I can't, pop money in the thin air and hand it to you like, here you go, wee. But stay tuned to the channel. We do have interesting things coming. Streams are a big thing nowadays. Streams with audio, commentary, podcast, playing with other players. Content is coming. Like, share, and subscribe if you want more from the podcast. Subscribe. Get ready, because it all starts with you and your support. So, and like I said, this is the first of many. So stay tuned every Tuesday for another podcast here on The Last Point.